Hello everyone, I am Muskan and today I will explain some chapters from the book by the Thomas Hill Green called Lectures on the Principles of the Political Obligation. I will explain from the chapter L, Right of the State to Punish. In this chapter, Hill discusses the state's authority to impose the punishment, what are its justifications and its principles. So the first question arises, why does the state have the right to punish? Well, the right to punish comes from the need to protect the common good of society, and it ensures that the individual actions align with the societal laws and the rights. In its words, the right of punishment is the right so far to use force upon a person to treat him or her as an animal or a thing as may be necessary to save others from this interference. So the punishment is not about personal revenge. It's to regulate the society to prevent the chaos. So it has evolved from the family based revenge to the state controlled justice. And the aim of this punishment is retributive because it reflects that the offender has acted against the societal rules and deter others from committing similar offenses by showing the consequences. And the punishment should aim to help the offender change and reintegrate into the society. And the punishment is not an eye for an eye, it must uphold the human dignity. And what's make a punishment fair is that it must only be given to the person who understands that what they did was wrong, and second, it must be related to the violation of a real right, that is to protect order or somebody's safety. So, punishment must not go far because it must protect the human dignity. But on capital punishment, he says that it is only justifiable if it's absolutely necessary to maintain the society's safety, or B, the offender is permanently incapable of respecting the rights. So Hill is saying that a person is proved to be incapable of reform to incorporate again into the society, the capital punishment is justifiable. And he also says that the aim of the punishment to make the offender feel guilty. So if a person suffering from the mental disorder commits a crime, there is no sense in giving punishment to such person because the end of the punishment is moral, and that is that helping to create conditions for everyone's well-being. And the system of rights it upholds supports the individual's ability to live morally and freely. In the next chapter, chapter M, the right of the state to promote morality, he says that the capacity for free life is a moral capacity, which is a capacity for being influenced by the sense of the common interest. He is saying that the true freedom involves moral capacity, which is the ability to act for the common good. And this moral capacity must be nurtured for individuals to truly exercise their freedom. He is highlighting that the true freedom is intertwined with the morality, which requires an understanding and actions based on shared social good. So, the true morality is only when individuals' actions are aligned with the societal common good. And to promote this, the states sometimes have to intervene. But states should be cautious about interfering people's life to promote morality. Because the excessive reliance on laws to enforce morality might suppress first personal initiative and second the responsibility by the individuals of the society. And for this, he says that education is the way. And he says that compulsory education is justifies and it helps develop individuals' capacity to make moral decisions. But the word compulsory is binding. So he says that only person who lack access or initiative to the education denies that education is important. So he says that a person who truly acknowledges that what importance education holds will never realize that the education is compulsory or is binding. They will follow this rule. So education is only in words compulsory because a true person or a person with a rationality will realize that education is important, thus they will go into it and will not realize that is compulsory. And he also justifies states control or state's intervention in the personal contract if they are exploitative of nature. So he says that the state should intervene in areas like labor contracts. When doing so, it must increase the overall freedom. And in this way, by enforcing the basic rights, the state should create conditions for individuals to thrive morally. And this involves fostering an environment where citizens can act responsibly and pursue their moral development. And here Greens calls for a balanced act by the state because the state intervention should empower individuals, not control them. And encouraging morality, that is the common good for the society, means providing opportunities and support rather than imposing the rigid laws on the people. Chapter N, the right of the state in regard to property. First, what is property? So, property implies an act of will, a permanent self demanding satisfaction and expression, and the recognition of that appropriation by others. In simple words, he is saying that the property involves ownership based on human actions, and these actions must be legitimate, and the recognition of this ownership by the others or the society. So, it connects the right of the person to their property. The property originated from the individuals and groups seeking resources for survival and well being. Early forms of property were communal, like land owned by the clans or the families, which emphasized shared responsibilities. Over time, property ownership shifted towards individuals as the society evolved. And property is essential for enabling individuals to live a meaningful life and morally fulfilling life, and it allows people to provide for themselves and contribute to the society. But he acknowledges that there are inequality in the distribution of the property. So, so he says that such unequal distribution of property results from the differences in the individual capacities or the abilities and the social functions. He also recognized the historical injustice in the form of the conquest and the wars. So, states' role in addressing such inequalities is vital to maintain the common good. The state should ensure everyone has the means, which is the property, to live as contributing members of the society. However, the state must balance individual freedom with the collective welfare when regulating property. The freedom in owning and using property should align with the promoting the overall good of society. And in this way, the state may need to regulate inheritance in the form of inheritance tax to prevent the excessive inequality. So he says that the state might consider taxing or redistributing such gains to ensure fairness, though defining between the earned and the unearned can be challenging. Chapter O, the rights of the state in the regard to the family. First of all, family rights are unique because they involve personal relationships. And these rights are reciprocal because both parties, in the way husbands or wife, the parents or the children, have obligations and claims towards each other. So three questions arises according to Hill and he answers them. First, what makes human capable of family life? So, humans have natural interest in forming lasting relationships, such as with a spouse or with their children, and this desire for permanence and self satisfaction creates the foundation for the family life. Second, how do family rights arise? So, family rights originate from mutual recognition within a community or a society, and now this right of recognition of these family rights has been given to the state. And what should the form of these rights be? So Green argues that monogamy is the ideal because it promotes equality and respect between the partners. He says that polygamy excludes many men from marriage and makes the wife practically not a wife, while it also prevents the real reciprocity of rights between both husband and wife and between the parents and the children. He says that polygamy prevents many individuals from marrying and undermines equality between the partners. And it also creates power imbalances and weakens reciprocal rights in the family structure. So, state must intervene to ensure first that the marriage is monogamous And second, that marriage must last for life unless broken by the infidelity. So, according to Green, divorce could be granted for reasons like the adultery, cruelty, and lunacy, but for reasons like incompatibility, states should not grant divorce because incompatibility can evolve. And the role of the state is to make marriage a lifelong partnership as long as possible. He says that the state can do no more than make divorce for adultery easy and to make marriage as serious a matter as possible. In chapter P, Rights and Virtues, Green discusses the relationship between individual rights and virtue within a society. Virtues are defined as dispositions or qualities that contribute positively to the social good. They are the habits of will directed toward actions that promote the welfare of the society. And this idea challenges the dichotomy between the self regarding actions and the other regarding actions. Because Hill believes that all virtues are inherently social because they aim for the good that affects the society. So, rights are powers or freedoms that individuals are entitled to exercise, and the exercise of rights should be aligned with the virtues that promote the societal well being. So, rights and virtues are the two sides of the same coin. Thank you.